This is the MGTOW Infinium here with another Infinium training session. This Infinium training session is entitled, They Will Kill You Softly with Their Voices. My brothers, by now you should be familiar with the soft girl or soft woman error, which is basically just another dangerous male enslavement scam conceived of by the feminist plantation state. As it has been widely reported by other REDPILL and MGTOW content creators, this scam is basically a response to counteract the ever-increasing numbers of men who choose not to have women in their lives, and as well to stop the ranks of men from doing things like obtaining passports and thus joining the passport gang. Again, as there is a lot of great content which covers the inherent dangers of the soft girl or soft woman error, this Infinium training session will cover what will happen if you allow yourselves to fall victim to the scam. In short, my brothers, if you allow yourselves to fall victim to the soft girl or soft woman error scam, inevitably and invariably you will undergo a cracking process. In other words, the soft girl or soft woman error scam is tantamount to a lure which pulls you into a trap. The cracking process then becomes what happens to you after you become entrapped. Simply defined, the cracking process is a concerted effort by a woman to undermine and destroy any defenses of a targeted man with the sole purpose of gaining absolute control over him. Once control is established over a man, a woman can force him to do anything and everything, even if it's against his will. Which is why anything and everything can happen to a man who is a victim to the aforementioned. Some examples of what can happen to men when they are successfully cracked are: Number 1. Torment. Women often use cracking processes on men for the purpose of torment. Here, because of the woman's desire to be in control, her lust for power, and her victim's vulnerability because of cracking, she can easily turn his life into a nightmarish hell, which in some cases leads to his self-deleting himself. A great example of this happening is the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard situation. Number 2. Isolation. Women often use cracking to isolate male targets for the purpose of establishing total control over them. As such, this means isolation from family, friends, etc. A great example of this happening would be the Prince Harry-Meghan Markle situation. Number 3. Insecurity. Women who are insecure in their talents and abilities will use cracking processes to keep men from advancing. Here it is the undermining of his goals to keep him under her thumb, so to speak. This is particularly important when it comes to preventing men from doing things where it exposes the inferiority of the woman who cracked them. For instance, a man may be deterred from learning a new language which can open doors for him by a woman who is incapable of doing such. Number 4. Resource control. One of the primary reasons why women crack men is to control every aspect of their target's resources. For instance, successful cracking leaves a man susceptible to willingly turning over assets like bank accounts, homes, cars, etc. As well, cracking can lead to a target doing something that he would not normally do in terms of his resources, like marrying a single mother. Number 5. Loss of self-control. Women will use cracking to destroy a man's self-control processes, thereby forcing him to commit actions which ultimately bring shame upon him. Perhaps one of the greatest examples of this is Jada Smith's successful cracking of Will Smith, which led up to the Oscar slapping incident. Overall, a cracking process can take anywhere from a few minutes to many years depending upon the circumstances by which it is executed. Nevertheless, whether it is a few minutes or many years, the end goal remains the same: a woman's absolute control over who you are as a man. My brothers, again, it is important to understand that because of cracking, the soft girl or soft woman error becomes even more dastardly in terms of its power when it comes to the overall enslavement of men. That is why it is particularly important that as MGTOW men, we recognize and have comprehension of every tactical device womanists use in their efforts to enslave us, and also why it is highly important that in this time we as MGTOW men hold the line at all costs. This is the MGTOW Infinium, and this has been an Infinium training session. My MGTOW brothers, as always, stay safe, stay strong, stay on the MGTOW path, and remember, MGTOW is the liberation of men's minds. MGTOW cannot and will not be stopped.